Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning, everyone. This is your English teacher from At-Tamayuz School for Boys. And inshallah, in this video, we are going to study lesson 3 from unit 9. So let's get started. Please open your workbook, page 64. As usual, our topic is about money. In this video, you are going to learn the new vocabulary of the lesson, and you're going to read an article and answer some questions about someone called Warren Buffett. Who is Warren Buffett? This is what we are going to know in this video, inshallah. Before we start, as I said, our topic is about money. So if I ask you a question like this, money is power. Can you explain it for me? Do you think it's a power? Do you think we need money in our life? Do you think it gives us much power? It helps us to live easily in our life? Of course, the answer will be different from one to another. You can buy whatever you want with money. You can travel wherever you want with money. You can do whatever you want in your life with the help of money. So it's power, of course. No one can doubt about this. But of course, you have to use it carefully and wisely. This is as an answer to our question, money is power. Okay, so if I said money is power, wealthy people, I said wealthy means rich. We watched the video before. We studied that the word wealthy means rich. Rich, the opposite of poor. How can the wealthy help the poor? Of course, we can donate money to the poor. We can buy them food, clothes, and their basic needs. We can help build some hospitals for the poor people. We can build schools for poor people and so on. So wealthy people, rich people can help the poor in many ways. Okay, yeah, before we start our lesson, let's learn the new vocabulary. Before we read about Warren Buffett, let's learn the new vocabulary of the lesson. The first word that we have today, billionaire. As you can see here from the picture, someone has a lot of money. The billionaire, we have millionaire and we have billionaire. Repeat after me, billionaire, it's from billion. The billionaire is someone who has more than a billion. More than a billion. So, like the millionaire who has more than a million, we have the billionaire who has more than a billion. So, a billionaire, as you can see in the picture, Prince Al-Walid ibn Talal is a Saudi billionaire. Next, charitable. Repeat after me, charitable. It's from charity. It's an adjective. It's related to help those people in need. So when I say charitable organization, it means this organization helps people in need. So it's relating to giving help to those in need. Charitable, it's an adjective. Next, inherit, it's a verb. If someone inherits money or inherits a property or a house, he receives this money or property from who has died, from someone who has died. So I can say I inherited a big house from my grandfather. I inherited a property from my father, and so on. This is inherit. Repeat after me, inherit. Next, philanthropic. It's an adjective. It gives the same meaning like charitable, but philanthropic is describing people mostly. So when giving money and helping the people who are poor, this is called philanthropic. So a philanthropic person is a person who loves helping people who are in need. Philanthropic. Next, tax return. Tax, when you have to pay some money for the country, this is a tax. So what is a tax return? It's a form that businessmen have to um, uh, calculate or to have to fill in the amount of tax owed that they have to pay for the country. This is called a tax return. So repeat after me again: billionaire, charitable, inherit, philanthropic, and the last one, tax return. Okay, so write the answers or write the meanings in Arabic down, write the translation. They will help you, of course, in the translation question. Billionaire, charitable, inherit, philanthropic, and tax return. Let's have a look at these words, but in meaningful sentences, so as you can understand them clearly. Businessmen need to file a tax return each year. They have to write something about their income or their yearly income to pay for the government. Bill Gates is one of the famous billionaires worldwide. Bill Gates is one of the famous billionaires worldwide. He inherited a large sum of money from his grandfather. He inherited a large sum of money from his father. Charitable organizations help the poor everywhere. Charitable organizations help the poor everywhere. The last sentence: he is known for his philanthropic work for children in Africa. He is known for his philanthropic work for children in Africa. These are the words, but in meaningful sentences. Okay? Let's practice these words in one exercise. Right now, we have only 3 sentences and we have 4 words. Okay? Take your time. Try to fill in the spaces with words from this list. Tax return, charitable, inherited, and billionaire. The first sentence: Mr. Edward, a fortune. Fortune means a lot of money, so much money. A fortune from his father who passed away last week. So he exactly inherited a fortune from his father who passed away last week. Sentence number 2. He started work after retirement. After retirement, after stopping work, after finishing his work years. So he started exactly charitable work. Charitable work, I mean helping the people in need. The last sentence: he's written a piece of software which calculates a software which calculates excellent tax return. I mean the amount of money that you have to pay for the government. This is called tax return. Our topic in your workbook, page 64, is about someone called Warren Buffett. As I told you, this is Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett, a philanthropic billionaire. Who is Warren Buffett? How large is his fortune? And how did he make his fortune? All these questions, and how much money, of course, does he spend and does he give to charity and so on? All these questions, you have to find their answers in this article. It's page 64, as I said. Take your time. I'll be back in a minute. Try to find answers to the 4 questions. Okay. Who can tell me how large is Buffett's fortune? This is an American billionaire, by the way, but how large is his fortune? as you read from the article, how large is his fortune? How much money does he have? Who can tell me? Yes, exactly. His fortune has been estimated in 2008 at over $60 billion. That was in 2008 at over means more than $60 billion. So this is the answer to the first question. Question B, how did he make his fortune? How did he get all this money? Is it from tax return or pinball machine or undervalued stock? Again, tax return, pinball machine, or undervalued stock. Exactly, as you read in the article, he used to buy undervalued stock and then resell this stock at higher values. Exactly. Sentence C or question C. How much money does Buffett spend each year? How much money does Buffett spend? I mean, spending in his life, in his house, in his food, and so on, each year. Yes, exactly. He spends $50,000 each year. $50,000 each year. Of course, it's not a big amount of money for a billionaire, okay? For a billionaire. The last question, which is about how much money he is giving or is Buffett giving to charity? How much money does he pay to help the poor, giving to charity? Is it 50,000 like the amount of money he spends every year, or more or less? Yes, exactly. He is giving $37 billion to charity. 37 billion. I mean, the largest, that makes him, of course, the largest philanthropic gift in history. Most of his fortune was given to charity, which makes him the largest philanthropic person in history. Exercise number 2, on page 65, you have to write or to find words in the text that mean the same and then match them with their opposites. We have 6 words. We have to match these words with their opposites, okay? For example, we have the first one, the most wealthy. The most wealthy means richest, okay? Okay, what is the opposite of richest? Of course, it's here in this list, the opposite of richest, poorest. Take your time to finish this exercise. You have to read the article again to find the meanings, then match with the opposites. Take your time. Okay, that's enough. Let's start with sentence A. Of course, as I said here, we have an example. The most wealthy means richest, and the opposite, of course, is two, which is poorest. Accumulate a substantial amount of something. I mean, accumulate means to collect. A substantial means very big amount of something. The meaning of this definition is to amass, to collect. So what is the opposite? It means to expend. Okay. Sentence B, moderate or limited. It means not excessive. The definition is moderate, limited, or not excessive. What is the meaning? Of course, the meaning is modest. So what is the opposite of modest? Number one, extravagant. Extravagant, it's not modest. C, lacking good sense or judgment. Someone who lacks sense or judgment. He is not wise. So he is foolish. He is foolish, and the opposite of foolish, sensible. D, extremely large or great. Extremely large or great. The meaning, of course, is immense. And the opposite, which is number 3, the opposite of big or large or immense is tiny, which is number 3. Sentence E, showing a readiness. Readiness means he is ready to give more than necessary. Showing readiness to give more than necessary. Of course, it means generous, someone who is ready to give more than he has. He is generous, and the opposite of generous is selfish, of course. Next exercise, as I said before, we have to read the article again about Warren Buffett and tell me if these sentences are true or false. You have A, B, C, D, E, F sentences. Try to tell me if these sentences are true or false. Read the article again. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, here we have the first one. Warren Buffett has been the richest man in the world for 15 years. Is it he or Bill Gates? He has been the richest man in the world for 15 years? Of course not. Who has been the richest man? Of course, Bill Gates. But here he placed Bill Gates in 2008. Okay. Next, sentence B. Buffett used to sell overvalued stock to make money. Again, to make money. He used to sell overvalued stock. Of course not. He used to buy overvalued stock, not to sell. To buy, then he sells them later when they get a higher value. So he used to buy undervalued stock. Next, Warren Buffett is thought to have accumulated over 60 billion in wealth. Is it true? Is it true? Yes, exactly. He used to accumulate. Just wait a minute. Yes, to accumulate over than 60 billion in his wealth. Okay. Sentence D. Buffett spends a lot of money on things he doesn't need as a billionaire. Does he spend a lot of money, or did he spend a lot of money on things he doesn't need? Of course not. He lived a moderate or a modest life. He doesn't spend his money on extravagant possessions. Okay. Sentence E. Buffett has lived in the same house for more than 50 years. Yes, he doesn't live in palaces, he doesn't live in hotels, but he used to live in the same house for more than 50 years. It means he is a modest person. Next, Buffett is giving exactly $37 billion to charity. Giving to charity exactly $37 billion? No, not exactly. It could be more than 37 billion. It could be less than 37 billion. So we were not sure about the amount of money exactly that he is giving to charity. This is the end of our lesson. We learned some about Warren Buffett, the American millionaire, the most generous American millionaire ever. Thank you very much for your time. I hope you enjoyed this video. Inshallah, see you in other videos. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.